What he does is fix video cards. He does that for consumers and for companies. Sometimes that means people want him to modify video cards to double the VRAM, for example. That's where it starts getting into the territory that's interesting for our movie today. All right, so now he's pulling the GPU. It's gonna happen really fast. He puts it on just a metal stand.
Yo. That's pretty fucking crazy. All right, so we cannot do this at home, boys. We we do not have this kind of machinery.
So right now they have this template for the solder balls. So this guy is currently, he's cleaning it, looks like with mostly rubbing alcohol. That's a cool dispenser. So he's got, wipes it down. He's gonna pour solder balls into the template and then use that to position it on top of the memory modules. They do 8 at a time. And that'll allow them to bake the new solder balls onto the memory modules, which they can then attach to the PCB. 对吧?
The soldering ball?
Yeah.
刚才那个
It's just so crazy to me how like there's a couple shops in the US that can do repairs, but they don't really do like this level of repair.
OK，
But I don't know of a single shop in the US that does like the memory modding.
因为在美国顶多就是可能电源坏掉啊，或者是插头。Yeah, because labor cost is a huge issue, right? For the US, for him, it's like it's worth it. For the customers, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't like this, the labor cost or the service cost is not as high.
So next stage, at this point, they've reballed all of the memory and the GPU, and now he's cleaning the surface of it to prep it to mount to a new PCB. We saw the new PCB earlier, where it's a brand new custom PCB they just ordered from Taobao, which is the retailer. It's adding flux now. So
They are the factory. We're cooked. I agree. We are so cooked, chat. We cannot compete with this. I'm sorry.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth, yeah.
I hate to break it, but
So he's just gonna hold the heatsink on and see if it powers on. Cool. Okay, so now he's testing to see if it actually powers on after all that. It's got a green LED with displays up, debug up top.
first try, bro.
And he's just holding a heatsink in place because all he needs is power to see if it spits out display. We got display up top.
Bro, I can't even install RAM on my computer without having to fucking take it out and put it back in and like try it, like turning my computer on like 3 times and seeing what the fuck's wrong. Like I can't even get that first try. I can't install a fucking factory new stock fucking out of the box piece of fucking upgrade hardware into my motherboard. And this motherfucker just made a new graphics card. He just made a modded graphics card. First try, it passes post. Yo, dude, we are cooked, bro. We are fucking cooked, chat. Yo. No way.
So it is
I feel
functional.
awful
I
about
just
myself
question everything to text
right now.
I don't know. We're lucky. He's like usually.
Bro, we're bricking our computers with Battlefield 6 Secure Boot and are just having to change a BIOS setting. Motherfucker just made a GPU. It passes post. It's not even put together. Yeah, exactly. He's holding the manual pressure on the GPU and it's still hitting post. We used to do this. Now Detroit can barely make an edible pizza. Very sobering vid. Dude, honestly, I mean, that's what happens when you just outsource all of your manufacturing. You literally, even just 2 generations later, you've like lost the skill. Like those skills, the problem is the skills didn't transfer. A lot of this kind of stuff and these specialized things, like it's hard to find. And I know from my experience in some of the trades that I've worked in and around, they're all having the same problems. It's all old guys that are like aging out. Like they're retired. They can't, they want to retire. They're fucking old. They want to sell their business and move to Florida. Their back fucking hurts. They don't want to do this shit anymore. And there's nobody in line to take over. No one even wants to buy the business. Like no one wants to do this shit. That's plumbers. It's welders. It's electricians and so many different things. Like, and there's just nobody. Manufacturing, there's just nobody. Like, not like it used to be. Of course, there's people here and there, and we are losing that skill. And you can't just get it back all of a sudden. You can't just snap your fingers and be like, hey, we're all good at manufacturing again and everyone's good at this shit again. It's not how it works. It's going to take a lot of time, if we ever even decide to undo that damage, because people have to learn again. People have to get good and get skilled again. And finding skilled workers, and I know this from experience as well, is very, very, very difficult. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. There's tons of people who want jobs. Very few of them are skilled enough to do the highly skilled tasks. They're very hard to find. There is not a we are not in a surplus. We are at a deficit. And it is very hard to come by. It's such a lose. I've been doing amateur plumbing at my dad's house, and there is one 80-year-old guy at the hardware store that can actually help us. Exactly what I'm talking about. That is commonly what you will find. It is just some super fucking old guy, and he's the knowledgeable one, and there's no young kid who is working with him every day, trying to soak up every bit of knowledge he can to be ready to take over for when he retires. It doesn't exist. Like, they're not there. And so where are all those skills going to go? They're going to go nowhere. He's going to retire and he's going to die, and no one will have carried on any of that knowledge. 55 years, whatever, that he learned everything he learned, is just going to go to waste after he's gone. It's not going to be passed on anything. So how do you think that affects the skills that we have in this country and the sort of prowess in these trades and in these fields? How do you think that's going to affect? It's not going to be good. It's not good for us. And then meanwhile, you have this single Chinese guy can build a GPU, but from almost scratch, saving the vital components, keeping these pieces of hardware in circulation for the foreseeable future. They can continue to do that. They can continue to replace these parts, these vital parts. And then here we are making disposable, ironically, in the United States, we're just so willingly accepting disposable junk and building all of our foundations and infrastructure on disposable junk. Even a new house that's built today, new builds, all these huge developments that keep going up in like 2 months. Somehow they're building these fucking huge ass developments in 2 months time, flat. The build quality of these houses, it's bad. And that is what you can expect into the future. Like, it's disposable, it's cheap, it's getting cheaper, it's getting chintzier. And that's not like fucking, we're not importing the craftsmanship. We might be importing the furniture from China, importing some of the raw materials from China and shit like that. We're not importing the fucking craftsmanship. They're building stuff shoddy because the skills are diminishing. It's degrading over time because there's not enough people carrying it on. There's not enough interest. There's not enough investment in these fields like China is investing because they know they have to. And frankly, they don't really have a choice either because most of the rest of the world ices them out, or, we're in a trade war with them and all these different kinds of things. Like, have you seen inland Chinese TikTok? The kids are building rockets and robots, not stupid dances. I totally believe that because they take education a lot more seriously in China as well. Case in point, again, I wouldn't want to live in China, and there's a lot of very bad downsides to living in China, being in a fucking communist surveillance state, but
he likes chatting or hanging out.
对，
因为跟不同文化的人交流一下，可以接触到不同的那个，就没有像一些文化方面可以交流。
It's like they enjoy chatting with like different types of people.
Right.
I think it's so unfortunate that China is racked and ensnared by like communist surveillance state. The culture does seem cool. Like there's a lot of things about like East Asian culture and a lot of things that originated from China that I'm very interested in, and I think it's very cool. I think it's very like spiritually very enlightened and intellectually enlightened and all these kinds of things, and like how to live and these tenets, and you know, some of the best philosophers came from East Asia and specifically China. And then it's just like mind-boggling that it's the same place where now they are in a surveillance state with a communist dictatorship government that like uses facial recognition to spy on all of their citizens and give them a social credit score. And it sucks so bad because there's a lot of cool people in China. I mean, there's like a fucking, you know, over how many billion people. There's obviously cool people there. But like, fuck, dude, what a shitty deal. What a bad deal that they got. There are other aspects of their culture and the way that they do things that is I respect a lot, and they are our biggest competitor in every single metric. Like they just are. And I don't see that changing. I don't see that getting any better for us. Like they are like our foil, the mirror to America, to show us what we've lost, what we could have, and what we stand to lose more of if we do not buck up. Thank you so much for watching and giving me some of your time today. It means the world to me. I love making content like this, and I'm going to continue to do so. Comment down below and tell me what you thought about the video, what I talked about. Give me your thoughts. I would love to hear it. I try to respond to them all. Like the video if you enjoyed. Lets me know you want to see more content like this. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It supports me in the channel. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And hit the bell as well to be notified when new uploads come out. I'll see you on the next video, and I hope you have a great day.